I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki, the area grandfather. I'm so glad to reach you this morning. I want to talk about creating black wealth or wealth by the Africans and people of African descent in the diaspora. Um, we come from different backgrounds and we migrate to different countries, not as families usually, not as communities, but as individuals. Even during the slave trade, we were not taken to America or to the UK or to different countries as families. People went there forcefully, individually. When the Chinese migrate to America, they come as a group and then they form Chinatown. The Jews, they stayed together and formed a Jewish community, New Jerusalem, New Bethlehem. When the Italians come, they form a community that is an Italian community. They form Chinese people form Chinatown. You see, when the Arabs come, they come as a group and they stay together and they have collective economy. The kibbutzi system in Israel has contributed to a large extent to the development of the nation of Israel. That is their collective farming system in a community. And somebody rightly said that when money enters the hands of a Jew, it circulates 7 times amongst them before it goes out of their system. But as Africans, we excel as sportsmen, boxers, academics, professionals in small units separated from each other. We don't have this collective wealth. The Bible says, go to the ant and be wise, you sluggard. You see, ants, by mathematical extrapolation, the size of an ant relative to the size of a termitarium in the savannah, if you extrapolate the same size of a man compared to the white ant, you will find out that human beings, if they come together and collaborate, they can build a house that is 11 kilometers high. Now, the principle of the collective, one shall chase 1,000 and two shall chase 10,000. If you yoke, experiments have shown that if you take a cow that can pull 1,500 kilograms each and yoke 2 cows together, they will pull 3,500 kilograms, an extra 500 kilograms. So there is power in the collective. Sardines sometimes are able to frighten whales and sharks when they move together as a school of sardines. In the side of the sardine, there is an electromagnetic detector, so that when one sardine moves this way, the other sardines will move in the same direction. And so they form a thick mass, dark mass. When a shark or a whale with a uniocular vision sees the big mass, it can't see the depth and the size, and it can't see in 3 dimensions. It will think it's one big new creature in the ocean, so it avoids them until some over-sabi sardine, they will now move away and create an opening, and the instinct of the whale or the shark will realize that these are tiny units of fish going together, and it will now go there and gulp them. As long as Black people want to succeed individually, good. They want to remain isolated from each other. And society and the white economy does it in such a way that Black people will never ever want to come together. We cannot create wealth and we cannot control economies where we are. Now, people are coming to Africa to control our economies. They are coming to the Caribbean to control our economies. What are we really controlling? If we are to control, we must come together and collaborate. We must come together and contribute a common purse of wealth to be able to invest. We must have a common political front. We must have a common philosophical approach to our issues. So, cooperative. We've done well here in the Niger Delta through cooperatives. We have cooperatives here that have asset-based that run into billions, and a lot of the businesses in Ugili and Isoko land are majorly sponsored by cooperatives. So there is an international body of cooperatives. You can Google it. You don't need to come and join a cooperative run by my wife or the ones I belong to in Nigeria. You can establish cooperatives in the UK, in the US, in wherever you are. I did a seminar for people in Qatar, and they established a cooperative during the COVID lockdown. If you invite me, I'll be willing to come to teach you about cooperatives and how to manage cooperatives, turn them to fossil nuclei to produce wealth. Now, just take for example, 100 people contributing $1,000 for 52 weeks. That comes to $5.2 million a year. That comes to 52 million in 10 years. I hope my mathematics is right. But even if we take 100 people contributing $100 a month times 12 months is a lot of money. So when you have this collective pool of money, it is jointly owned by you. People can contribute more, and then their percentage shareholding in the cooperative is proportional to the amount they have contributed. And then if you want loans as an individual, you have to be guaranteed by two people who have an equivalent amount as you have, and then you get 3 times how much you have. That is great leverage. Assuming I have $1,000 in the cooperative, 2 other people with $2,000 will sign as guarantors for me. Most Black people don't have access to credit in many of these developed worlds. They don't have access to loans. If there are, they are very scarcely. So you have $3,000 from the pool of 3 people, 2 others plus yourself. You must have up to $1,000 or more. So you will pay 10%. That means you will pay $300 as interest to the cooperative upfront. And then you are given 10 months to pay the $3,000. That means you'll be paying $300 per month, excluding your normal contribution that you make. At the end of the year, that's your $300 you paid as interest. If 10 people take loans, you have $3,000 that will be shared among all of you as dividends. You can pool your resources together and buy real estate. There are several abandoned properties and places in Europe and in the United States, cities. You can buy this real estate and reestablish a community, reactivate business in such places. In Portugal, in Italy, I suspect Spain, several abandoned places that the Black community can buy, farm, and do whatever they want to do. You can open event centers where, like halls, you can buy a property. You can buy football clubs. You can do anything with a large resource base. And so the cooperative is the next avenue that Black communities need to come together to establish. There are laws governing cooperatives in each of these nations. They are there, and their opportunities are there. And some of the old buildings you see in the United Kingdom were established by cooperatives. Just Google cooperatives in the United Kingdom. Google cooperatives in Brazil. You will see large pig farms owned by cooperatives in Brazil and several other nations. Cooperatives will be the point number 1 in creating Black wealth, as you might not like that name, or Negroid wealth from people of African descent. And it's a policy I want our communities to adopt. It is not when you have cultural day, you come and start dancing and dancing. We have danced enough as Africans. We have entertained the world enough in sports, boxing, and athletics and music. Let's start creating wealth that is associated with Africans and people of African descent. You can send me a message on +234 705213. For consultations, I will refer you to my time manager. I have a manager in Abuja that can allocate time to each person that wants to consult me, because my phone is so busy and my time so limited, and there's so much stress from questions and need for consultation. I have an online seminar coming up on the 7th and on the 8th of June by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. If you send a message to me on +234 7052136763, I will send you information on how to register for the seminar. I have properties for sale in Nigeria. Somebody from Congo wants to buy. People from other nations want to buy, just to do land banking, and your money and your properties are safe in my hands. I have books for sale. Send me a message on +234 7052136763. God bless you. I am the area grandfather, Dr. Charles Apoki.